At a campaign fundraiser in Boston yesterday, President Biden said he's, quote, not sure he would be running for re-election if former President Trump wasn't also in the race. Later in the day, when asked if he would be in the race if Trump wasn't, the president said, I expect so, but look, he is running and I have to run. Speaking at the White House today, Biden said what he thinks would happen if there is a rematch in 2024.
Do you think there is any Democrat who could defeat Donald Trump other than you?
Probably 50 of them.
You do believe that there are?
I'm not the only one to defeat him, but I will defeat him.
Principal Deputy Campaign Manager for the Biden-Harris re-election campaign, Quentin Fulks, joins us now from Tuscaloosa. I told you I'd be able to get that right. Quentin, it's good to see you. What should the country make of this spate of comments from the president in the last 24 hours about him and Trump and the seemingly political codependency he's described?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again, Major. Look, at the end of the day, this is nothing new. The president has said this. In fact, in 2020, he said that he was running because of the threat that Donald Trump posed to democracy as he was trying to rip away the very fabric of our nation. And so, I think the president's comments are being taken out of turn here. But what we should be focusing on is the fact that Donald Trump on primetime television last night said that he would rule as a dictator from day one. And we've known for a very long time what that agenda would look like. But last night, he actually said the quiet part out loud of how he would do it. And that's as a dictator, ripping away health care, continuing to brag about whipping away a woman's right to choose, and so on and so forth. And so our campaign is focused on making sure we push out the message of exactly what a second Donald Trump term would do.
The former president said, I would be a dictator on day one, but only one day. That does not diminish your concerns?
Unfortunately, no. I wish it was a laughing matter, but it's not. And in fact, we've seen Donald Trump's agenda as he ruled like a dictator before. Last night, I think he just said, what we've all known out loud, talking about ripping away health care from tens of millions of Americans, driving up the uninsured rate for African Americans for 20%, Latinos for 15%, continuing to double down. Unfortunately, again, not refusing to stand up to the NRA while kids continue to duck and hide in classrooms from gun violence. So this is exactly who Donald Trump is. And when he continues to tell us, we need to believe him.
Reid Hoffman, who's the co-founder of LinkedIn, confirmed to Barron's today that, yes, he did write a check about $250,000 to Nikki Haley's super PAC, saying he did so because she's an American institutionalist and is someone he regards as politically competent. He's historically been a supporter of Democrats, a supporter of President Biden. What does it mean to you, or does it mean anything at all, that he is currently dividing some of his financial interests and assets?
Look, I think I'm not in a position to tell anybody what they should do with their resources when it comes to supporting candidates, but it doesn't change anything from the Biden-Harris campaign. Our agenda from day one has been to set out to talk to Americans about what President Biden and Vice President Harris have accomplished for them and their daily lives, and that includes creating 14 million jobs, 800,000 good manufacturing jobs, standing up to big pharma, continuing to drive down the cost of inflation and make America more affordable for middle-class families, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do.
What are you watching for tonight there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Quentin?
Look, at the same time, there's been 3 Republican debates already. And if you've seen one, you've seen them all. They're all talking to the same audiences. They're all pretending to be Donald Trump. They're all racing to the extreme MAGA base. And so tonight for this campaign, we know that what we're going to see tonight on this stage is just more of the same. None of these candidates tonight are going to stand up to Donald Trump saying that he would rip away health care for millions of Americans. None of them are going to stand up to Donald Trump bragging about the fact that he ripped away a woman's right to choose. And so it's going to be more of the same of what we've seen so far during this Republican primary.
Very quickly, Quentin, does it matter to you that all 3, Trump, Haley, and DeSantis, could say in battleground states they run ahead of the current president?
No, I mean, look, we've always known that this election is going to be a choice and that this election is going to be close. Our campaign has had its head down, making sure we're out in front communicating with voters. We're beginning to staff up our early battleground states. And that's a lot of work that Republicans are going to have to catch up doing when they come out of this divisive primary. So for us, we're going to continue to put our head down and make sure that when the choice is clear between President Biden and whoever the Republicans decide to nominate and put forth, that we're in a position to win the most votes.
Quentin Fulks, we thank you for your time as always.